Fulks and CC Mays. Coach will open with a statement, and then we'll get to questions.
Yeah, I thought, well, obviously we could not have started the game worse. And so if you saw that, it was a really tough start. We didn't have the intensity we needed, and so they jumped us on a couple turnovers for layups right away, and so I thought that made it really, really hard. But then even after that really tough start, we got more shots up than them. The rebounding was even, and some things happen when you're tired, and obviously Thursday night, going late Thursday took a ton of energy, and they got to play Wednesday, so they had an extra day rest. And shooting is hard when you're tired. And we talked, and we had a lot of really good looks within the system, and we had, we were open from three. We had some really good looks inside that we missed, and so we got enough shots. We just didn't shoot it particularly well. And then same thing on defense. There was a couple possessions where we didn't look like we had the legs to defend, and somebody just kind of got by us or got a rebound that we came up with on Thursday. And so, but we talked about it. That's going to help us because, sometimes you got to play a little closer to back to help replicate what the tournament's going to be like, because there's no days off in the tournament. And so I think that, good or bad, we're still getting more people to play, and we're going to need everybody down the stretch.
Is there something the league could do to straighten that schedule out, or is it you just have to live with it?
Yeah, we're coaches, and so we try to move things to competitive advantage. And so every time, you can move a game to a Wednesday and get an extra day rest over the other team, that's especially in February. That's a really big piece of the puzzle. And, and so there were some times this year we've played Wednesday, and I would actually like to see it normalized one way or the other. And, but sometimes that's an easier statement. There are travel, issues. Sometimes you're having to make a really long turn and you really can't get there the next day. But it certainly adds to competitive imbalance. But like I said, it's been in our favor. It's been against us. And so at the end of the day, it is what it is, and you still got to find a way to compete.
Yeah. And Meredith back today. Limited minutes, obviously, but she's working her way back.
Yeah, honestly, today was the first time she's gone, as long as she's gone. She's been working through the progression and done a really good job. And so, we talked before the game. We didn't know how much we were going to use her. Some of it just kind of depended on legs, and she was fresher than everybody else, and it was good for her to see the ball go through the net again and, start to just get your legs back under you on offense and defense. Taking a couple weeks off is hard. It's much harder than people think, and, just taking the first hit again. You got to get through all that, the mental stuff just as much as you got to get through the physical stuff.
Were you glad to have her back, CC?
Yeah, when she was out, it was a tough thing for all of us. We prayed for her. We were hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst, and thank God we didn't have to prepare for the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So just very happy to have her back.
Think that'll be a boost down the stretch?
Of course, she's a shooter. She's a threat on the offensive end. We're just trying to get her back in the rotation and get her back, into a rhythm.
Yeah. Did you think you all were tired?
I think it definitely showed a little bit, but that's really not an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
We have to find a way. Like Coach said, the tournament's going to be hard, playing every day back to back to back. So, yes, we were fatigued, but, we still have to push through.
Yeah.
Well, and I thought one of the positives, this is back-to-back games that CC and Ace have both been really efficient from the court. At the end of the day, it's not always about scoring. It's about were you efficient when you scored. And this is 2 games in a row, and maybe further back, but I can't remember that far back, where we've had both of them, not only, getting a lot of attempts, but being able to, knock them down at a really great rate. And that is going to just keep helping us be better and better. And, as the season goes on, everybody's just gotten more comfortable with what shots are we going to get and how we're going to get them. And so I think part of their ability to be more efficient is we've been able to go deeper into the shot clock and get to reversals. And so the looks they're getting later in the shot clock are much better. And at the beginning of the year, there's probably plenty of times where, they had to take a tougher shot because we weren't really executing very well. And I think, the more we can keep moving the ball and get our scores in really good positions late in the shot clock where defenses are scrambling. There was a possession for both of them down the stretch where, they're wide open at the rim. It's hard to defend in the third and fourth quarter, especially if you can get to reversals and have lots of people trying to get downhill, and I think that's just going to keep helping us.
That's work inside and outside, too,
Yeah.
from what I can see.
Yeah.
You've got some open shots on the outside as well as being being able to drive,
Yeah.
you'll take either.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we won the third or the second and the fourth. And the first half, I was probably most disappointed. They switched to the 2-3, and that was probably the worst we executed during the game outside of the first minute of the game. And we talked about it at halftime, and we were way more aggressive at the spots we need to be aggressive at, and we got great looks. And so, at the end of the day, competing and winning, a huge part of it's just mentality. And we have great stretches, and the more times we can put 40 minutes together, we're going to be in a great situation. We just got to, today we didn't start well, and then we had a little bit of a lapse at the end of the first quarter, and then we played really solid.
Yeah, you stayed with them. You made a run, and they'd have an answer, but you got to be happy that you can cut the lead from 18 to 9.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We just need to not be at 18.
Exactly. That's,
When you look at the collective of it, success breeds success, and sometimes the opposite happens too. When you look at, you play great defense for 30 seconds, but they might get an offensive rebound and go for a bucket. How difficult mentally is that to overcome, even on the offensive end? Do you feel like you see people pressing whenever those situations arise, and is it just one play at a time at this point?
Well, I think you hit some of it. When they kind of jumped us early, it affected us on offense too. The next 3 minutes, we were taking shots, faster than we would normally take them. We got to the rim, and we weren't focused on finishing, and so it did affect us on both ends. And momentum, that's a tricky thing, to kind of ever understand. I mean, we've all seen it where you get the momentum going in your direction, and everything is going your direction. And I thought we had a couple great runs, and it's just what you said. There was twice that we get a great run and get a miss, and we didn't come up with the rebound. And it felt like they made every time they got an offensive board that they hit that shot. Yeah. And Thursday we did a great job on the offensive boards Thursday, and I just felt like we were not coming up with that enough today.
I agree.
And still, we had more offensive boards than they did. So, it was kind of like, it just felt like when they did get one, they scored it.
yeah, it's hard to complain about the rebounding, isn't it?
Yeah, we were right there.
It's converted there.
Yeah. Yeah, they just, we got more shots. They shot it at a really high rate today. They made a lot of tough shots, I thought. We did a much better job keeping them off the, keeping them out of the paint. And they just hit a couple that were, kind of killers.
Anything further, Tim? Good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.